People often say women are difficult to understand. This sentiment typically arises from men who attempt to apply pure logic to dynamics rooted deeply in emotion, intuition, relational history, and subconscious safety assessments. Women are not irrational. They are emotionally calibrated. Their responses prioritize feeling states shaped by layered experiences rather than abstract correctness. From early childhood, female psychology develops around emotional memory, lived experiences of vulnerability, a profound fear of abandonment, and an ongoing need for protection. Not merely physical security, but emotional shelter, where feelings are held without judgment or dismissal. These elements operate subtly, beneath surface words or actions, influencing perceptions, reactions, and bonding in ways that often go unnoticed by those unfamiliar with them. Failing to recognize this leads men to inadvertently erode trust and connection while believing their logical, solution-oriented approach is optimal. The foundations of female emotional psychology. Female emotional calibration begins in infancy and childhood through attachment processes. Attachment theory highlights that women often exhibit higher levels of attachment anxiety compared to men, who may lean more toward avoidance. Anxious attachment involves heightened fears of abandonment, a strong desire for closeness and reassurance, and sensitivity to perceived relational threats. This stems from evolutionary pressures where women, historically bearing primary caregiving roles and facing greater reproductive vulnerabilities, developed heightened attunement to social bonds, emotional cues, and potential loss of support. Emotional memory plays a central role. The amygdala, key for emotional processing, and hippocampus, for memory formation, show greater overlap in activation during emotional events for women, leading to stronger encoding and longer-lasting recall of affective experiences. Women often remember not just what was said, but precisely how it felt. The tone of dismissal, the sting of invalidation, or the warmth of validation. This isn't mere sentimentality. It's a neurobiological adaptation that helped ancestors assess reliable protectors and nurturers in uncertain environments. A single negative emotional event can imprint deeply, resurfacing in similar future contexts even years later, because the brain tags it as salient for survival. Fear of abandonment is pervasive. It originates from early caregiver inconsistencies, societal messages emphasizing relational value for women, and biological wiring that links self-worth to connection and acceptance. Even in secure relationships, this fear lingers as a background vigilance. Women may scan for signs of emotional distance, withdrawal, or shifting priorities, not out of paranoia, but as an evolved mechanism to protect against vulnerability, especially during periods of high dependency like pregnancy, childcare, or emotional openness. The constant need for protection encompasses emotional validation, feeling seen, heard, and accepted without interrogation. Emotional safety is the foundational feeling of being embraced for one's authentic self, emotions, and needs. Without it, the nervous system enters protective modes: fight, argumentative, flight, withdrawal, freeze, shut down, or fawn, people-pleasing, interpreting the partner as a threat, regardless of logical intent. Societal and cultural factors amplify this. From girlhood, many women receive conditioning around relational harmony, emotional labor, and the risks of expressing too much feeling. Media, family dynamics, and peer experiences reinforce that emotional expression can invite judgment, making safety a prerequisite for authenticity. Emotional safety versus logical correctness. Why being right often fails. The most common male misstep is assuming factual accuracy or problem-solving trumps emotional attunement. In reality, the female nervous system, influenced by higher baseline attunement to social threats and emotional cues, first evaluates, am I safe right now? Do I feel accepted and protected? Logic comes second. Consider a typical scenario. A woman shares frustration about work stress. A man responds with solutions. Have you tried this strategy? Or, here's what the data shows. While well-intentioned, this can feel dismissive if it skips validation. That sounds exhausting. I hear how overwhelmed you feel. Her body registers this as emotional cornering or invalidation, triggering defensiveness or shutdown. The amygdala signals threat, releasing stress hormones like cortisol, narrowing focus to self-protection rather than collaborative problem-solving. Neuroscience underscores this. Emotional safety activates the ventral vagal state, social engagement per polyvagal theory, enabling openness and bonding via oxytocin. Without safety, the sympathetic system dominates, blocking deeper connection. Men who are cold, hyperlogical, or detached may offer facts, but fail to provide the visceral feeling of shelter. Conversely, a man who is imperfect yet consistently calm, present, and validating often feels safer because he doesn't make her emotions the enemy. Examples abound in daily life. During arguments, insisting on facts while ignoring tone or underlying hurt escalates tension. In vulnerability moments, for example, sharing insecurities, logical dissection, your overthinking erodes trust. Over time, repeated invalidation builds an emotional ledger of unsafety, manifesting as resentment, reduced intimacy, or emotional distance. To build safety, practice active listening. Reflect feelings first. It makes sense you'd feel hurt by that. Validate without fixing. Maintain eye contact and calm posture, and own imperfections. Consistency over perfection matters. Emotional safety isn't about never disagreeing, it's about disagreeing in a container of respect and presence. The paradox of safety and attraction. Controlled unpredictability. Here's the central tension. Excessive safety and predictability can diminish attraction. While emotional safety is foundational for security and long-term bonding via oxytocin, desire thrives on dopamine, the neurotransmitter of anticipation, novelty, reward, and controlled risk. Evolutionary psychology suggests women are wired to respond to signals of high mate value, confidence, resource provision, protection, but also independence and scarcity value. A perpetually available, overly agreeable man signals low options or low challenge, reducing perceived value. Predictability removes the hunt element, the uncertainty that spikes dopamine and longing. Too much guarantee creates emotional flatness. Desire fades as the brain habituates. Scarcity creates value. A man with his own life, boundaries, passions, and subtle independence feels chosen rather than default. This balance, enough stability for safety, enough mystery for excitement, is where sustained attraction lives. It's not chaos or games, but authentic, controlled unpredictability. Occasional unavailability due to genuine priorities, teasing humor that introduces light tension, pursuing personal growth. Neurochemically, intermittent reinforcement, unpredictable rewards, sustains dopamine more than constant availability. Extreme sports or thrill-seeking analogies illustrate how safe danger, roller coaster versus real peril, excites without destruction. In relationships, this means emotional availability with boundaries, pursuit with independence. Men often misread this as needing to play hard to get manipulatively. Authenticity is key. Cultivate a rich life, communicate needs calmly, allow space for her to miss you. Attraction isn't built solely on comfort, but on a dynamic polarity where safety enables vulnerability and independence fuels desire. Navigating emotional tests. Stress tests for steadiness. Many behaviors labeled drama, sudden silence, mood shifts, withdrawal, provocative questions, are often unconscious stress tests. She probes, will he stay steady when I'm unstable? Will he abandon or collapse when I'm hardest to love? These aren't always deliberate shit tests for manipulation, but evolved filters assessing emotional stability, confidence, and mate value amid anxiety or insecurity. Common forms: teasing challenges, you're always late, jealousy probes, withdrawal to gauge pursuit, or escalating emotions to test regulation. Failing looks like defensiveness, over-explaining, emotional collapse, anger or desperate reassurance, which confirms unsafety or weakness. Passing requires calm presence, acknowledge without reactivity. I hear you're upset, let's talk when calm. Hold space without fixing, maintain self-respect and boundaries. This demonstrates strength, not dominance, but grounded leadership. Practice builds resilience. View tests as opportunities to affirm reliability. Over time, consistent passing deepens trust, reducing test frequency as security solidifies. Need versus desire, self-respect as the foundation of longing. Many men equate sacrifice, emotional, financial, identity erasure with securing love, believing neediness binds her. Female psychology distinguishes clearly. Need, support, consistency, safety differs from desire, spark, value, self-respect. When a man erases himself, always prioritizing her, losing hobbies, friends, ambitions, he becomes needed but not desired. Need satisfies security but erodes polarity. She may rely on him yet feel no pull. Desire requires perceiving him as high value, independent, respected by others, pursuing growth, not defined solely by the relationship. The moment reliance dominates without maintained value, survival instincts signal potential replaceability or loss of spark. Maintain identity, pursue passions, set boundaries, invest in self. This paradoxically increases desire by signaling abundance and choice. Love grows where both partners retain wholeness. Understanding female jealousy. The silent internal storm. Female jealousy rarely erupts loudly. It's often internalized as comparison, self-doubt, silent withdrawal, or subtle behavioral shifts. Tied to attachment anxiety and fear of loss, it manifests as questioning self-worth. Am I enough? Rumination, or emotional retreat rather than confrontation. By the time noticeable, damage may have accumulated. Signs: reduced affection, probing questions masked as casual, social media comparisons, or unexplained distance. Address by reassuring through actions. Consistent presence, verbal affirmation of unique value, transparency without defensiveness, while encouraging open dialogue in safety. Jealousy signals investment. Handled well, it strengthens bonds. Ignore it, and silent quitting or resentment builds. The enduring power of emotional memory. One careless word, dismissive glance, or invalidating moment embeds an emotional memory far longer than facts. Due to enhanced amygdala-hippocampus linkage, women often retain affective imprints vividly. Forgiveness quiets but doesn't erase. Patterns reactivate old feelings. Healing involves awareness. Apologize specifically for impact. I see how my tone hurt you. Repair consistently. Create new positive emotional deposits. Over time, safety rewires associations. Love amplifies. Fear of abandonment. Deep love heightens exposure. The more invested, the greater the stakes of loss, amplifying vigilance. Even secure women carry this undercurrent, especially in vulnerability peaks. Understanding this fosters empathy, Reassure not just with words, but steady presence, shared rituals, future-oriented planning. Love doesn't eliminate fear, but coexists with it. Partnership mitigates through mutual protection. Practical guidance for men. Applying these insights, prioritize presence over perfection. Validate first, solve second. Cultivate independence alongside availability. Respond to tests with calm strength. Monitor emotional ledgers. Repair proactively. Foster open dialogue about needs without judgment. Invest in personal growth for sustained polarity. This isn't control or manipulation, but conscious harm reduction and connection building. Stop asking, "Why is she like this?" Realize she's navigating safety in an often unsafe world, seeking a reliable emotional harbor amid life's storms.